Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh to our beloved panels, Puan Noreha and Puan Nur Aini. Today we will present our final year project about comparing the parameter estimation for Kijang Emas. My name is Dinie Syazwani binti Badrul Aidi.
I am Dewi Farhani binti Radin Azam.
My name is Nur Syafiqah.
As we know, gold are one of important and valuable sources in Earth. The price of gold as for now will keep on increasing along with an advancement technology around the world. In previous study, Kimberly stated that gold was found at Sutter Trench and inspired the gold rush California, which helped unify Western America in 1848. Meanwhile, according to Farhani in 2020, said that the price of gold has spiked from the beginning of 2019 and hit higher at the start of 2020 until now, it still keep increasing. Asian countries had faced a huge crisis once upon a time around 1997 until 1998, where it started with Thailand currencies fall down and spread to the neighbor countries. The situation became worse until three countries, which are Indonesia, Korea, and Thailand, decided to gather financial support from International Monetary Fund. At that time, Malaysia has become a spotlight country where they overcome the crisis by themselves. Former Prime Minister Tun Mahathir Mohamad suggesting to stabilizing the exchange rate, closing down the overseas trade of ringgit, regulating capital flows, and maintaining certain key economy including gold. Now, Kijang Emas is minted by Malaysia's Royal Mint and sold by Malaysian Banking Berhad. It introduced by the former Prime Minister Tun Dr. Mahathir Mohamad, which released the gold bullion on 17th July 2001. There are three types of Kijang Emas were introduced, such as 1 troy ounces, half troy ounces, and 1/4 troy ounces. Moving on to the objective of the study, our first objective is to determine the best Arima model forecast gold price. Next is to determine the best parameter estimation using maximum likelihood estimation and ordinary least square method. The significance of this study is to help the investor gathering information about ups and downs gold price due to inconsistent gold price in Malaysia, while predicting a perfect time to invest in gold. The scope of these studies are focusing on investors and sellers who are interested in purchasing a low price gold and intending to sell in high price. The data collected from Central Bank of Malaysia website starting from 1st September 2016 until 30th September 2020. The limitation of this study is the data is hard to obtain and limited because only a few websites showing accurate the gold price in ringgit Malaysia. Also, the discussion is limited within online platform due to pandemic COVID-19. And for the data description, Kijang Emas were divided into three types, which are 1 troy ounces, half troy ounces, and 1/4 troy ounces. Each ounces has its own face value, which is 200 ringgit, 100 ringgit, and 50 ringgit respectively. This study focused on the buying price for 1 troy ounces and the data collected in daily terms starting from 1st September 2016 until 30 September 2020.
Next, we have the methodology. In this chapter, we will discuss about the method that can help to achieve the objective. For the first objective, which is to determine the best Arima model to forecast the gold price, this can be done by using the box checking method. The box checking method has three stages, which is model identification, model estimation and validation, and also model application. For the second objective, which is to determine the best parameter estimation by using OLS and MLE, the method of RMSE value is compared. The lowest value of RMSE will be chosen as the best parameter estimation. For the first stage of Botjanki methodology, which is the model identification, the assumption of the data whether it's stationary or not is being done. This can be conducted by using three methods, which is first the graphical method. If the data shows trends of seasonal effect depend on time, it can be said that the data is non-stationary. As for parallelogram, if the ACF slowly decays or the PACF indicates one significant spike, it can be said that the data is non-stationary. While for the last one, which is the unit root test, the hypothesis testing will be done. If the value of test statistic or the p-value larger than alpha 0.05, it can be concluded that the data is unit root test and also non-stationary. If the data is non-stationary, then the differencing needs to be done towards the data. The following show the coefficient of ACF and PACF. For ACF, it can be calculated by the formula of RK equal to covariance of YT plus K, over the square root of variance yt. For PSEF, the formula is yt equal to P1 yt minus 1 plus P2 yt minus 2 plus until Pk yt minus k plus arrow term. To determine the best model among the ARIMA model, the value of AIC and BIC will be taken into account. The formula of AIC and BIC is as shown as in the slide above. The best model will be chosen by taking into account of the value of the smallest AIC and BIC, and also will be determined with the concept of parsimony. Lastly, we have the parameter estimation. For parameter estimation, we have two, which is ordinary least square method (OLS) and also maximum likelihood method, which is MLE. So, for the formula of OLS and MLE, it can be shown in the slide above. To determine the best parameter estimation, the value of root mean square error (RMSE) will be taken into account. The formula of RMSE is the square root of the summation of t equal to 1 to et square over n, where we will choose the value of the smallest RMSE as the best parameter estimation.
Next, I will present the result and analysis. The plot of graph is shown as above. As we can see, the graph does indicate a presence of an upward trend from 2016 to 2020, which means it is a major turning point. The graph also shows an outlier and a random shock, which we can say that the data is not stationary. As for the parallelogram, ACF graph shows a decreasing pattern and PSCF graph has one bigger spike. For the unit root test, the probability value is 0.8501, which is more than 0.05. It indicates that it has a unit root. So the data is not stationary and it needs to do a differencing. The above graph shows a plot of graph after first differencing. It fluctuates around 0 and has a presence of one unusual spike at the third quarter of 2017. However, it does not show any growth or decline over time. After the first differencing, the parallelogram of ACF graph does not decay slowly and the PSCF graph does not have any big spike. As for the unit root test, the probability value is 0.000, which is less than 0.05, and it indicates that it does not have a unit root. Thus, the data is stationary. To find the ARIMA models to be estimated, we use parallelogram. PSCF represents p-value and ACF represents q-value. Based on the previous parallelogram, the most noticeable spike can be seen at leg 1 until leg 5. However, ACF diagram only shows one noticeable spike at leg 1. The value of p is 1 since we do a differencing one time only to make the data stationary. However, we have another way to find ARIMA models, which is by using confidence limit. By using the formula plus minus 2 over square root of n, we can find the confidence limit. As for this study, the confidence limit is plus minus 0.064. The ACF and PACF value that is not between the range of confidence limit is significant. Thus, we use the value to estimate the ARIMA models. For this study, we get 5 ARIMA models, which is ARIMA 111, ARIMA 211, ARIMA 311, ARIMA 411, and ARIMA 511. After we have found the selected ARIMA models that can be estimated, we need to determine the AIC and BIC value for two methods, which is OLS method and MLE method. For OLS method, ARIMA 211 has the smallest AIC, while ARIMA 411 has the smallest BIC. For MLE method, ARIMA 211 has the smallest AIC and ARIMA 111 has the smallest BIC. By using the concept of parsimony selection, which means we select the simplest model, ARIMA 211 has been selected as the best model to do parameter estimation. After we have found the best ARIMA model, we need to determine the RMSE value for both OLS and MLE method. In this study, the RMSE value for MLE is the smallest value compared to OLS, which means MLE method is the best method to forecast the price of gold.
In conclusion, to find the stationary of the model, correlogram and unit root test has been used and the model came out as not stationary. First differencing has been taken in order to make the model stationary, and thus ARIMA model is suitable to use in this study. 5 models has been selected, which are ARIMA 111, 211, 311, 411, and 511. As for the result, ARIMA 211 has been selected as the best model by comparing the value of AKK's information criteria and Bayesian information criteria, which achieve our first objective. In our second objective, we want to prove which method is the most suitable in this study between maximum likelihood estimation method and ordinary least square method. Therefore, our MSE value will compute within both method, and ordinary least square method gained 147.6981 while maximum likelihood got 128.0901. Thus, we can conclude that maximum likelihood is the best method since it has a lower value of RMSE. In summary, the best model to forecast the gold price in Malaysia based on this research is model ARIMA 211, while the best parameter estimation is maximum likelihood. Thank you.